Hey guys, we are back. 16.3 has been announced, and it's a good one. I am going to be honest. I think 2016 might be the best Open we've ever had. I mean, we're only 3 workouts in, but so far I have been impressed with the programming that Dave has presented, and I have been very saddened by the dose response of the workouts that Dave has programmed. So let's talk about what we got on tap for today. 10 snatches and 3 bar muscle ups. If you're scaling, it's going to be 10 snatches and 5 jumping chest to bar. Max rounds in 7 minutes, and if you were like me, your stomach dropped a little bit when he threw that 20 minutes out there. 3 20-minute workouts in a row would be something. Well, I guess number 2 wasn't 20 minutes for everybody. It certainly wasn't for me. I don't think. I got jammed up around 275. But let's talk about today. So, a couple things going on that I think we should pay attention to. As per usual, we're talking about pace. So I think the ideal pace, and this seems like a no-brainer, but is unbroken. And unbroken, right, might not be as fast as Palladino came out of the gates because he came out swinging, but unbroken might be something a little gentler, something a little slower. And the reason why I think unbroken is going to be helpful is it minimizes transition time, but the pace of the unbroken sets is going to be heart rate management, right? So maybe that might be 1, 2, 3, or something a little slower, something a little faster, but not let that heart rate get too high too soon. I know it's short, but let's settle into this one. Right? Even at 40, I believe, 5 to 50-second rounds, I think still puts you at 8 rounds if you're really, gunning for something impressive. 45, 42 seconds puts you at, 10 rounds if those transitions are focused. In terms of setup, most important, proximity, right? Get your bars close together. At the end, we got a little something special if you really want to maximize transition time. I actually have devised a method by which you never actually have to let go of the barbell. So stay tuned to the end if you want to see that. But proximity, right? Bars close together. The bar for your pull-ups or muscle-ups, the bar for your snatches, and close proximity. And I would also love to see that barbell placed 90 degrees to the pull-up bar. And the reason I want to see that is because, right, we come off that bar, we finish our set, we drop it, we turn around, right? Some of us have uneven floors. That bar, that bar rolls a little bit closer to the bar than we anticipated, and we see something like this happening. And with our athlete right here, that can be a little bit hazardous. I know a couple years ago with the deadlift box jump, my bar rolled in close, actually broke a bone in my foot coming off the box onto my barbell. So I would love to see that 90-degree barbell to muscle-up bar setup. And then grips. I myself am a big, huge fan of the Natural Grip. I cannot say enough about these guys. In fact, this broadcast was brought to you by the Natural Grip. Better hand care, better health, better CrossFit. I actually don't know what their tagline is, but huge fan of the Natural Grip, but some kind of grip, right? We got a lot of grip action. We got pull, pull, pull for 7 minutes. And if this is something that you're going to redo, you're going to need to protect those hands. So pay attention there. And then what we're going to talk also is about how we're going to set up those movements. So for our snatch, grip. Grip, 2 things. Hook. Obviously, we're going to hook, right? Save it. Get as much out of that hook grip in terms of saving fatigue on the forearms as possible. But then width, right? The closer our hands are, the less we have to bend over. But the wider our hands are, right? The shorter range when we go overhead. So you're going to find that sweet spot for you. And speaking of the grip, right? Save your grip. Hips. Right? We saw a lot of that rounded back position. It's gonna get sloppy, right? It's CrossFit, it's the Open, right? That's a recipe for sloppy. But it doesn't have to be a recipe for injury, right? Be efficient, be powerful, use the hips for that snatch. We saw Ramirez, right? Almost muscle snatching that bar, and with shoulders like that, with stamina like that, with an engine like that, with a training history like that, right? That's gonna work for him. Put up some disgusting numbers tonight. That's not gonna work for the rest of us. We really need to get those hips engaged, being explosive through the middle, saving those arms to do the work on the muscle ups. So hips, 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 cannot say that enough on that snatch. On the muscle up, right? KLMAF. Right? Everybody knows what that means. It doesn't need an explanation, so we're going to move on. And actually, no, kip like a motherfucker. That's what that means. You need to get those hips involved again on that muscle up. And we're talking about long pulls, right? Keeping those arms as straight as long as possible, getting as high as possible, pulling the hips into the bar, and then getting the shoulders over the bar. That's it, right? If you're on the fence with your muscle up, maybe you're thinking you're going to get your first one in the next couple of days, awesome. There's tons of great content out there. But if you already know how to do a muscle up, all we got to do is remind you of those things that are important and essential, especially as we fatigue, which is a long pull, hips to the bar, then shoulders over the hands. And make sure we hit lockout, right? We don't want to see no reps. There's no reason to see that. We know what we're doing. And then the last thing I want to touch on is scaling, right? We have an interesting scaling option this week. 5 jumping chest to bar instead of 3 bar muscle ups. Now, Two groups of folks might scale. There's that person who has 2 bar muscle ups, right? And maybe tomorrow they have none. There's also the person who doesn't know if they have any bar muscle ups. And here's what I want to say, right? If you are on the fence, maybe you don't have your first, or you've only just recently gotten your first, go for it. I mean, really go for it. There's something, and you guys know what I'm talking about, that magic energy of the open. We want to see some awesome stuff happen. Try it RX. Go for it as prescribed. Please one time lean into that. Be courageous here, honestly, is what I'm saying to you. And then that person that only has maybe 2, right? Maybe that 2 turns into 4. I've watched our athletes here do it. I've seen us at the gym do it. I've been there myself at one point. It's that when you think you only got 1 round and maybe you only get 20 reps total, right? You only get a little ways into that second round before the clock runs out. What a feeling, what an inspiration to that person, right? That person who's only got 1 to see you get 5. The person who's only got 5 to see somebody else get 10, right? Be that inspiration in your gym for someone else and for yourself. Blow your own mind. And then maybe you don't have it though, and maybe you're gonna go for that scaling method. And so that bar weight drops down considerably, and the movement difficulty drops down considerably, which then makes pacing something really important, right? Because with a 45-pound bar or a 20K bar, that turnover rate is going to be pretty high. And so you're going to experience something very different, being able to rep those snatches out at lightning pace, hit those jumping pull-ups at lightning pace. I mean, we're going to see probably something for the scaled method. I would not be surprised if we see something over 14 rounds, which is a lot of reps. A lot of reps, right? Some of those folks with big engines, but maybe who haven't technically developed the muscle up. So if you're scaling, right, unbroken sets, focus on your transitions. And here, I actually want you to throw this heart rate management out the window. You just get after it. You go crazy and put up some disgusting numbers. But anyway, it's going to be a fun one. It's a short one. I mean, this year we've been seeing folks posting literally at the last minute their scores. So who knows what's going to happen until last minute in terms of what those high scores are going to be. In terms of predictions, this week, I think on our men's side, who's going to blow my mind? Gosh, I'm feeling really good about Bridges again. I think we're going to see something magical come from that guy. And on the ladies' side, I want to say that somebody from America is going to bring it home, but I think one of those ladies from across the water is going to do it. And I'm going to put my money on Kara or Sam this week. One of those 2 ladies. So Bridges is going to bring home the men's side for the US, and Webb maybe for Australia, or Bridges for the UK. That being said, that's what we got for 16.3 notes. Have fun with it, and see you on the leaderboard. All right, guys, thanks for hanging through to the end. Here is the bonus. I call it the Grip Saver. Patent pending. Not yet available on Rogue or Amazon, or actually any online retailer for that matter. In fact, you can make your own Grip Saver with tools that you can get from Home Depot. So all you got to do is set the J-cups in your rack to their highest possible position, allowing you to do a muscle up hanging from a barbell. Tape your hands to the barbell. Do your power snatches, walk up to the rack, set your bar on the rack, and proceed to crush muscle ups. Then go back and proceed to crush power snatch, crush the muscle ups, repeat for 7 straight minutes. This strategy can probably get you somewhere in the 17 round range. If it doesn't work, you either didn't use enough duct tape, or you probably just didn't go fast enough.